Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I wanted to do a video here for you guys. This video is, kind of just to give you some more content, kind of also to help you figure out what are the best cards for this new set here. This new set is obviously Outlaws of Thunder Junction. And this video is going to go over what I think are the top 10 rare cards in Outlaws of Thunder Junction. I just kind of urge you to take a look at all the other videos in this series and then look at what I think are the top 10 cards of each rarity. Anyway, let's get started. Here's the first one, and as I bring this one out here, this is of course Rise of the Varmints. Just kind of remember that this card and all the other cards that are coming out in no particular order. So I would just recommend that you guys take a look at all of them and collect all of them. Alright, anyway, Rise of the Varmints. Spell card is going to cost you 20. Create X green varmint tokens. X is the number of creature cards in your graveyard. Then if this card has the plotted emblem, reinforce those tokens Y times. Y is the number of creature cards in all graveyards. Okay, there's a bunch here to unpack. Alright, plot. I'll click on it here. You can read it for yourself. Basically what you're seeing on the screen is that you can have this card. Probably the best thing to do is turn it off, right? You turn it off so that it doesn't play, and you collect mana on it. What you want to do is collect this plot number here, right? 20. Now, once you have that 20, you can get rid of this card by exiling it from your hand. Then what it's going to happen is it's going to eventually come back into your hand and it's going to have all of this paid off, basically for free here, right? And that will give you the plotted emblem. That's just the bird's eye view. You can read it for yourself. You can go on the forums, kind of take a look at what that says too, but that's basically how it works. Create green varmint tokens. That's what it's going to help you with. Here are the green varmints. Kind of cool, not super big. The thing that you want to be able to do is create a lot of them, right? And the X, of course, is the number of creature cards in your graveyard. So I would use this as really a booster card for a lot of the cards that will help you to just throw creatures into your graveyard. If you can throw a ton of creatures into your graveyard, you'll be able to use this card. It's going to be super effective. You'll be able to reinforce them as well, right? If you have that plotted emblem, as I mentioned. So yeah, very, very cool card. Okay, here's the next one. Lyla, Undefeated Slick Shot. This is an interesting one. This is a human rogue. Prowess. The last card in your exile gains a plotted emblem. Then return that card to its owner's hand. At the end of your turn, the last card in your hand gains full mana. Okay, Prowess, let's talk about that. This is an ability that triggers whenever you cast a non-creature card. It's kind of an older ability, but an ability that's very useful nonetheless. I think this is a really good card. I think the strength of this card here is at the end of your turn, the last card in your hand gains full mana. Okay, so obviously what I would be doing is paying off a card by putting it in the first slot in my hand, but also moving maybe the best card that you want to play like soon, put that as the last card in your hand. Obviously, if that's the last card in your hand, then you're gonna have a chance to do this, right? Obviously, you gotta kind of make it work, but it should be fine and it should help you to get a huge advantage over your opponent. Okay, here's the next one. Cball, Profiteering Mayor. This is an interesting one. It's a human advisor card. When an opposing creature enters the battlefield, if it is a non-token creature, your token creatures get +1/+1. Then create a copy of that creature onto the battlefield under your control. When a token creature enters the battlefield under your control, deal 3 damage to your opponent's planeswalker, and then you gain 3 life. Alright, so this is another card that's going to be excellent with tokens. It says when an opposing creature enters the battlefield, if it's a non-token creature, obviously your token creatures will get a buff. And then here, this is probably the best part of this card. When a token creature enters the battlefield under your control, you can deal 3 damage to your opposing planeswalker, right? So that's going to be good. You're going to gain the 3 life. I would also use this card with planeswalkers like a Johnny 4. That's the one that has that second ability that will buff creatures every time you gain life. Sorin 1 has that kind of same ability, so you could use that here, or you can kind of just go with a deck that's got a lot of tokens, and then hopefully you just out-token your opponent. Just throw so many tokens down that you're going to be able to do tons and tons of damage. That's going to work here too. So yeah, it's a good card. Okay, here's the next one. Key to the Vault. When your first creature deals combat damage to your opponent's planeswalker, draw a card. That card gets full mana. So that's a nice one here, right? Obviously, you want to give your first creature double strike so that it can just blast your opponent twice. Then you'll draw a card. Then the card will get full mana. Then you'll be able to attack again because it's got double strike, right? And then the whole thing will happen again. You'll be able to get full mana once again for a second card. Very, very good one here. Right, here's another one. This one is another round. I really like this one. This one is probably one of the ones that I'm looking forward to playing with the most. It's a spell card. It's going to cost you 14. When you make a match by swap, if this card is in your hand, increase this card's level by 1. Create a copy in your hand of each creature you control. That part is huge. Then those cards gain full mana. Reinforce each creature you control X times. X is this card's level. That's incredible, right? Tons and tons of offense here just with one card. This is one of those cards that you just want to play over and over again because you know it's going to dominate your opponent. Really, really cool stuff. I try to use this card with big creatures, obviously, right? Because you're going to be able to reinforce those creatures a bunch of times. Then you're going to be able to create a copy in your hand of creatures, right? So hopefully if they're big, that's going to help you. And then obviously it's going to get the free mana. So yeah. Super cool. Here's the next one, Claim Jumper. At the beginning of your turn, convert X gems to white. X is the number of outlaw creatures you control, including their reinforcements. This is a nice one. Obviously, play this one with token creatures like the red mercenary. If you get a lot of red mercenaries down, those mercenaries are going to count as outlaws. I'll click on this outlaw thing here. These are the different subtypes, I guess, that are going to be counted as outlaws. So you can see the mercenary is there. The red mercenary will definitely count here, and it's going to be really nice. It's going to help you to convert a ton of gems to white. Very cool. Okay, here's the next one. Cool, the Unrepentant. Okay, Scorpion, Dragon, Rogue creature. At the beginning of your turn, you may have target creature you control lose a reinforcement. When a creature you control dies or loses a reinforcement during your turn, the first creature card in your hand gains full mana. When a creature enters the battlefield under your control, reinforce that creature. So this is another good card offensively, right? Just this last part here, when a creature enters the battlefield under your control, reinforce that creature. Obviously, this is going to help you. You're going to want to play it with big, nasty creatures so that you can get them reinforced and hopefully do a ton of damage. That's really, really good. This other part here is good as well. It says, when a creature you control dies or loses a reinforcement, then the first creature in your hand gets full mana. That one is very useful. Obviously, you're going to want to have a lot of creatures in your hand so that you can use this all the time. So I would probably play a deck that's got maybe 4 creatures in there, or at least have abilities in either the planeswalker you choose or maybe spells you incorporate into your deck that's going to let you to pull some of those creatures out just so you can have creatures in your hand, right? So that will be super awesome with this guy as well. Right, here's the next one, Hell to Pay. Yep, this one's an interesting one here. Deal X damage to target creature or planeswalker, then create X gold tokens. X is the number of red gems on the board. You know, so as I kind of mentioned before, I do like this set. I think there's a lot of good stuff here. But one of the things that I like about this set is that you can make a ton of those gold tokens. Gold tokens are awesome, right? Any of those simple tokens, if you can use them correctly, it's going to be really, really helpful. I think with this set here, you probably will be able to make more gold tokens than you ever were able to. Save, of course, not counting Gnawbone, right? Gnawbone, that nice big elder dragon. I think it's an elder dragon. It's a dragon anyway, but that one used to create tons and tons of gold tokens like every single turn. So this card here and a lot of the cards in this set are going to help you to do that as well. Good stuff. Okay, here's the next one. Slick Shot Show Off Bird Wizard here. It's got haste and flying, plot 12. When this creature enters the battlefield, if this card has the plotted emblem, fetch the first 2 non-creature cards from your library. When you cast a spell card, this will get +3/+1. Okay, so I went over plot in another video, but I'll go over it again. My understanding here is that you have to turn this card off, obviously, because if you leave it on, it's going to play. I would turn it off and then put the 12 mana onto this card. Then what you would do is exile the card. Once you exile the card, at some point it's going to come back, and you'll come back with the plotted emblem. Right? And if this one has a plotted emblem, when you play this card, you'll be able to fetch the first 2 non-creature cards from your library. That's kind of cool. I think the best part about this card is this ability here. When you cast a spell, you get a pretty good sized buff for this creature. What I would do is obviously put this one in a deck that's got a lot of spells, right? Maybe some of those green ramp spells that will hopefully convert to green. Those will fill up your hand with mana. Hopefully you'll get some ability to draw cards and then convert to green, draw, and kind of continue that over and over again. If you get a lot of spells in a green ramp kind of a deck like that, this guy's gonna go nuts really fast. Very cool. Okay, here's the last one for this video. Maressa, Dealer of Death. Okay, good one here. When you commit a crime, pick and fetch one of the first 3 cards from your library, then destroy the others. At the beginning of your turn, a random opposing creature gains imminent death. Okay, this is an interesting one. It's got that commit a crime thing here. I'll click on this and you can see how to use that crime thing. It says crime, when a card with crime enters the battlefield, you commit a crime. Right? That sounds bad, but in this case, you commit a crime is good. If your planeswalker doesn't have the crime emblem, it gains the crime emblem. When you have a crime emblem, perform the card's associated crime effect. Okay, so you can kind of see it here. I do like this card because the opposing creatures will get imminent death. I think that's good, especially with red, because red, a lot of times you're going to have a hard time with creature removal if we're talking about like creatures that prevent damage, right? Red uses a lot of damage to destroy creatures, and if you don't have the ability to like exile opposing creature or destroy opposing creature, then you're going to be kind of stuck with red. That's why imminent death is so good. You get imminent death to a creature, an opposing creature, and then they're going to die, right? You don't have to worry about how much damage do I have to put or anything like that. So yeah, very cool. Okay guys, I hope you guys liked the video. Like and subscribe, share with all your friends, of course. I always say that because it just really does help the channel. So please continue to take care of us as we continue to take care of you. Yeah, so that's it for me. Take a look at all of the videos in this series and collect all those cards. Anyway, that's it for me. Good gaming, guys.